It's time for some white pill moments. Trump's winning. Trump's probably going to win. There's probably a shadow campaign. But the latest news is Trump leads Biden 54% to 42% among independent voters, according to an NPR PBS Marist poll. So here's what we're going to do today for you, my friends. We're going to consult the smartest entity known to man, and that is the internet and AI. I'm kidding, by the way. AI is quite stupid as of right now, but it can at least do a bunch of math really fast. And so I am fascinated absolutely by what we consistently see with AI. So let's pull up our good friend ChatGPT, and we're going to plug in some math for y'all. First, let's read the news, and then we'll see how the calculations work out. A new poll out Thursday has revealed that Donald Trump has a commanding lead over Joe Biden among independent voters nationwide in a head-to-head matchup. Trump noted the new polling results on Thursday morning outside the courthouse, saying, "That's the best we've ever had." NPR PBS NewsHour Marist poll found that 54% of independent voters say they would cast their ballot for Trump, while 42% said they would vote for Biden. Despite the lead, however, Trump trailed Biden in a head-to-head matchup by just 2 points among registered voters at 50 to 48%. The small lead for Biden comes at 92% of the Democrat voters said they would vote for Biden. 90% said they would vote for Trump. Trump does, however, hold the lead over Biden when third-party candidates are included. So let's play the game. We got this poll, 54% to 42%. ChatGPT, we are going to have the AI break down for us exactly what this means. And I got to be honest, it's a foregone conclusion. With these numbers among independent voters, I am fairly confident ChatGPT is going to say Trump gonna win. But we don't know what the shadow campaign is. So first, let's do this. Let's say how many independent voters are there in 2024? Let's go. ChatGPT-4 says, as of 2024, there are approximately 35.3 million registered voters, independent voters in the United States. This group represents about 28.55% of registered voters from the states that report party affiliation data. Independent voters often play a crucial role in elections due to their significant numbers and potential to swing between parties based on candidate appeal. Let's do this. What were the total votes by party for each candidate in 2020, GOP, Dem, Independent? Let's see what it says. It's going to give me a long-winded paragraph, and then I'm going to have to ask it to do a list. Okay, it's giving me a list. Okay, thank you. Oh, we got Libertarian Party, too. They lumped those guys in there. I don't really care. I didn't ask that. You see, thanks, ChatGPT. Democratic Party, Joe Biden receives 81 million, 51.25. Republican Party, Trump received 74.2. And the Libertarian Party, Joe Jorgensen, got 1.8. Let's just do how many votes from independent voters in 2020? This is the important number, right? Because there's a couple of ways we can approach this. We can do the current Gallup polling at the total number of independent voters as of 2024, or just compared to 2020. Both are valid in speculating. The 2024 data is speculative. It is how many we think there currently are, whereas the 2020 data is here's how many actually hard voted. They say in 2020, about 34% of registered voters identify as independent. Okay, among those voters, how many voted for Trump or Biden? Let's see. And this is great because what it does is it'll pull the math, and it gets it wrong sometimes. It gets it wrong. Independent voters who voted. They say independent voters played a crucial role, according to Pew Research and Fulcrum. 26% of the ballots were cast by independents. Joe Biden received 54% of the votes. Donald Trump garnered 41. You can already see where this is going. Okay. Now, I don't know that this would give Trump a guarantee. So let's do a few different calculations. Assuming that Trump got 54% of independent voters and Biden got, what's the number? It was 42. Look at that. It's an inversion. 42%. What would the total vote outcome be for 2020? Let's see if it can calculate this math for us. Let's see if we get it. Analyzing. Uh-oh. Did I break its brain? Come on, you can do it, ChatGPT. Let's see if we can get different results for 2020 based on the inversion that we're seeing in the polling. ChatGPT is not having a good go of it. It is struggling to do this math. But I do think this is particularly interesting. This is the revolution of search, okay? It says, assuming that Donald Trump received 54% of independent voters. Wow, take a look at this. and Joe Biden received 42%, the total vote outcome for the 2020 election would be Trump 76.7 million to Joe Biden 77.13 million. It says the adjustment still results in a victory for Joe Biden, though the margin is narrower than the actual results. But what's not taking into consideration is swing states. Would this have shifted any states from Biden to Trump? This is why to determine if the shift, look at this is actually, so it's analyzing. Wow, take a look at this. Biden won Arizona by 10,000 votes, Georgia by 11,000, Wisconsin by 20, Pennsylvania by 80, Michigan by 150, and Nevada by 33. Using these adjustments, Biden loses 4 million votes, Trump gains 2. It says, let's assume the distribution of these votes proportionally across states. If we apply these shifts proportionally to the total number of votes in each state, we can check the margins in these keys to see if they would have changed. So it looks like, let's see. Based on the proportional shifts for Trump, none of the key battleground states would have flipped from Biden to Trump. Although the overall margins would have narrowed significantly, the changes were not enough to reverse the outcomes in these states. Therefore, Biden's victories in these critical states would have remained intact, and the overall result of the 2020 presidential election would not have changed. But this is where so we're building up to it. So you got to bear with me. This is where it gets more interesting. Let's do this. Let's do the top 5 polls between Trump and Biden. 2024. Top 5 polls. This one's actually super easy. Here are the top 5 polls. We got Morning Consult. Trump and Biden tied at 43. You've got Rasmussen. Trump leads Biden 46 to 45. You've got Biden 45 to 44 with Harris poll. YouGov has Biden 44 to Trump 43. Quinnipiac has Biden with 46 and Trump 45. That's actually really, really interesting. Let me pull up 538 and see. So it's using Race to the White House is their source. I'm going to pull up 538 to compare it to ChatGPT. You see, this is really interesting. Maybe we have to do the latest polls. Okay, let's do this. Use the 5 latest polls, because it looks like that was I'm wondering why it's choosing these and we're getting different results. All right, based on the latest polls, we've got Harvard Harris, Trump 47 to Biden 45. Trump is up 2. Economist, Trump is up 1. Reuters, Trump is up 2. Rasmussen, it is tied. Wow, that's interesting. Rasmussen hasn't tied. Emerson has it tied as well. So it looks like when we use the latest polls, what's the difference between these? The top 5 polls. That's not a metric you can actually track. So right now, Trump is leading. Based on these polls, and let's say compare to 2020 voter data, and with 54% of independent voters favoring Trump and 42 for Biden, calculate the total vote count estimate for 2024. Let's go, baby. Now, this is a particularly complicated calculation we got for our good friend ChatGPT. Let's see if it can pull it off. So what's going to have to do, it's going to have to pull all the voter data from each state, or it can do it generally nationally. And but if it does it by state, this is what we really want to figure out, because Trump would have needed to have gained something around, 10, not even 10,000. If Trump got a 5,001 vote swing in some of these states, that means he's up 5,000. Biden's down 5,000. That means Trump wins those states. So right now it is analyzing. I don't know that I can actually pull this off. I was working while we wait for it to calculate. I actually had a lot of fun with ChatGPT earlier, and I love its calculations ability to calculate. I asked it to devise a betting system for blackjack. This is the true test. A betting system for blackjack that beats the odds without counting cards. It found one. Ran a bunch of simulations, millions of hands. There is a betting system that easily works. It's the Martingale betting system with a bankroll of $50,000, an initial bet of $5, and a max bet of $640. The bad news is it generates you about 10 cents per hand. About $2 an hour. Not worth doing. Martingale, for those that don't know, is every time you lose, you double your bet. And the risk with it is if you're playing with infinite money, you can't lose, because you double and no max bet. You double your bet, you recover your losses as soon as you win. And then you go back down to the smaller bet. The issue is no one has infinite money, and casinos have table maxes. So considering that, it actually devised a betting system where it actually beats the odds. And it's not worth doing. But anyway, so here we go. Take a look at this. Based on the average of the latest polls and assuming that 54% of independent voters favor Trump while 42% favor Biden, the estimated total vote count for the 2024 election would be Donald Trump 21 million votes, Joe Biden 17 million votes. That's independent voters. These numbers are significantly lower than the total votes of the 2020 election. Reevaluating the model with the correct approach and using the original total votes from the 2020 election, Trump would end up with 71 million to Joe Biden's 69 million. These adjusted figures reflect a closer and more realistic scenario based on the latest polling data and the assumed preferences of independent voters in the 2024 election. They are actually saying Trump could win the popular vote. Now, my friends, I'm sure there is, let me break this down for you. The top 5 latest polls. The latest poll from Marist on independent voters gave us this outcome. Trump wins. Okay. I'm sure there's a convoluted way to make it say whatever you want to say. So let me just try and make sure we get this one fairly and say, let's do this. Show me the 5 latest polls among independent voters, Trump v. Biden. Let's see what we get. All right. Searching the web. Here are the latest polls. Newsweek, Trump leads 50. Whoa, holy crap. Trump leads Biden 52-40. Another poll, 51-42. Marquette has him 54-43. The Hill has Trump up among indies, 11. And Quinnipiac has Trump leading Biden 50-44. I think it's fair to say, if we were to take the latest polling numbers, and let's do this. Average them out. Let's get the average. What's the average going to be? We'll average out these 5 polls. Is it going to be able to do it? Averaging the latest poll results. Trump is 51.6 to Joe Biden's 41.8. These averages indicate consistent lead for Trump among independent voters. Using this average, calculate the 2020 vote total estimate. Let's see if we can just do with that. Let's see if we can just do with that. I think it's fair to say not much changed. But I want to be fair. When I say that AI is based on current polls is calculating a Donald Trump victory, I want to make sure we're being fair and we're plugging it all in. This one shows basically the numbers reflect the impact. It's showing relatively the same thing. And now I can say infer the total vote count for 2024 based on this calculation. Now, we can already tell it should be the same because it's comparable. When we go back to the other number, we got 21-17, and this one's giving us 20.7 to 16.9. Now it's doing some detailed calculations. Let's see if it'll give us similar numbers. Considering the numbers all are very different. Remaining vote share. Trump and Biden support among these voters is derived from their overall polling percentages. It gives us a total vote count. And this gives us Donald Trump with 75 million to Joe Biden 69.9 million. These figures show Trump lead over Biden when factoring in the average support from independent voters. There you have it, my friends. As of right now, we've tested a couple different ways. ChatGPT is giving us the math that shows, based on the polling as of today, the latest polling, Donald Trump is going to win. Except for the shadow campaign. So let's do this. Now let's have some fun. Add in the 4 a.m. vote shift we saw from 2020 to Biden's total. Let's see. Now, here we go. In the 2020 election, there were significant late night updates, vote updates in key states, total shift before the shift, new vote totals. Oh, man. Doing the same math. Even with the 4 a.m. shift, Trump is still up by about 200 or so thousand votes. It's a close race between Trump and Biden, with Trump maintaining a narrow lead. So I don't know if that shadow campaign is going to do it for him. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up tonight at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all then.